I'm ready to roll, and we're hot.
Back in the studio.
Again. Almost like we never left.
On a nice day.
Oh, beautiful. Man, there's no wind out down there. My minnows are alive, swimming in the bucket.
Is that what you was power napping for? Maybe to get out and do a little crappie
you.
fishing tonight?
I'd love to. I've been watching my light, but I haven't caught a crappie. Caught some good bass. Man, I hung something down there the other night. Had to be a flathead or a big cat. It didn't roll though. You know, I'm on an ultralight with 4-pound test.
Mm-hmm.
And a little old crappie hook with a minnow on it and a cork. And I fought that thing and fought that. I never could get it up there high enough. And the line broke where the doggone split shot was
crimped
onto the line.
I've done that before.
And I try not to crimp them tight, but I don't like them slipping down either.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was. I mean, I'd have loved to have seen it. I turned it loose anyway. I turned loose most everything. Nah. I don't turn loose crappie. No. Unless I only catch one or two, I might turn them loose. But I always keep them until I ain't going to catch but two. If you let me catch 3, 4, 5, 6, they going swimming in some grease later on. Because ain't nothing better.
No, there's not.
Although, the other night, them steaks we had, I would love to have some crappie. I wish somebody had fried some up down there. But that steak was pretty doggone good. That sweet potato was even better.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. So, anyway, well, tonight we're going to try to catch y'all up. We've been doing this series, and we just finished it up. I don't know. I'm assuming this will come out after our little final wrap-up. I don't know. We'll talk about it before you get out of here, but we could drop this one in between. Just, so it wouldn't be so late in the season. And look, we're not going to lie. I ain't lying to you. We're about to hit the road. So we are pre-recording some of these. So you're going to get this information a couple, 2 or 3 weeks later than it happened. And we're going back on up all the way to the beginning of the season. And today is April 7th.
Mm-hmm.
This thing may not come out until last week of April, first week of May. I don't know. I don't know exactly where we're at on all that, but we wanted just to let you know where we're at, what we've been doing. We'll talk about some of our turkey hunts. I think even our hunts where nothing was killed, we've had some fun hunts. So
yeah,
I think we already kind of talked one time. Well, I guess did we talk about your dead turkey? Well, we're gonna talk about it again. Let's just get in there and. You kind of cover now. Me and you've hunted together a good bit, probably more this season in Alabama than generally we do, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we've probably hunted more this year than we ever have.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your places you go, and I got places I go. But this year, it's been a strange year. Been a tough year for me just because of things going on at work. But we had an super early spring to me. It's greened up now. Grant you. I'm from old school days back when season come in on the 14th or 15th of March, and they wasn't even a bud on some of the trees then.
Yeah.
And so we're late, but it warmed up quick. We've had some cool days. I really believe this little cool snap we went through will be the last one we see this year.
I do too.
We might have some normal days, highs in the mid 70s and that kind of lows in the 50s. But this, upper 30s, low 40s. For lows and highs in the, 60s with the wind blowing 100 miles an hour. Makes it feel like it's in the 30s, but that finisher suit, I'm sure glad I bought that thing. It has come in handy, and it's going to come in handy down the road because, our buddies chase weekends, but we chase spring.
Mm-hmm.
I always said if I wrote a book, that's what I was going to call it, Chasing Spring. Because, and I may do that one of these days. Hey, I'm going to retire here one of these days. Maybe I have time. I wish I'd kept a journal so I wouldn't have to make up lies to fill up a book. But
that goes along with turkey hunting.
Well, that's all part of it. So, anyway, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, just where our spring 2026 turkey season what we've done. I guess some places we've been. Look, I've said it before. Yeah, we hunting in Alabama right now. We have not went out of state. We hunt in Alabama. We hunt in Coleman County. We hunt in Jefferson County. We hunt in Walker County. We're hunting in Pickens County. We're hunting in Randolph. Is it Randolph County?
Yeah. Dallas County.
Dallas County. I'm not telling you a spot. I'm telling you a general area. And if you believe I'm giving away a spot, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sick of hearing this crap.
What you just
We're
said.
hunting private land. Have we hunted public land anywhere in Alabama this
Not
year?
yet.
No. So if you're hunting we're in my spot in Jefferson County, you're a damn poacher. That's what you are. So that's just the way it is. I'm sick of it.
With the counties you just talked about, it's like pulling that handle back on a pinball machine.
I mean, it has been all over, and I think you're part of it. I signed up for Alabama Avid Turkey Hunters deal. It's just to help the researchers. You basically you sign up. You still can. I don't know, but you just every hunt, and I try to make mental notes. I have actually made notes on my phone. But after your hunt, you just kind of update what you saw, heard, did, killed, didn't kill, didn't see, didn't hear. And by God, we have covered some counties this year. I have. I know you have too. So, and probably cover, I've been in Walker County. You hadn't got to hunt Walker County yet, have you? Because it ain't in where you live, right? Or is all of Walker County's in, right? Winston's the one that's not in.
It's in. It come in last week.
Yeah, but not public.
No, tomorrow. Tomorrow's when I get to hear all the trucks.
No decoys though, people. Oh. And thank God Almighty, they're going to get rid of that stupid decoy rule. The most stupid. I would love to meet the person that said that was a good idea. And I don't know, he may be the smartest biologist, game manager on the face of the earth, but I've yet to find anybody that can put any science behind it. It's stupid to me. It's whether you use decoys or not, and you anti-decoy people, put on a helmet because I don't care. Protect yourself. Decoys are not the do-all, be-all. I'm hesitant to say they work 50% of the time. I don't necessarily believe they work 50% of the time. I've lost more turkeys using them than not using them. Mm-hmm. Is there a place and time they work? Heck yes. But you know what? If you feel that way, then you need to go and whittle you out a cedar striker and go find you a turtle shell or a mussel shell or a piece of slate, lay it on the ground, and you go out there and call them with that. Make you a wing bone. Make your own wing bone. Don't let nobody make it for you. Make it yourself. You purist. That don't be shooting. No. Don't shoot a gun. Don't shoot one of these new guns. Go find you a 50, 60-year-old shotgun. Find you some paper hull shell, number 6s, number 4s, and you get out there and hunt with them, or do like the Indians did. Oh, no, Indians reaped. You can't do what Indians did because they reaped. Am I a reaper? No. But if it's legal, do it. I'm a legal person. If I'm in whatever state it is and I can reap and I want to do it and try it and I feel it's safe, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to talk about you if you do it and I don't do it. But don't talk about me for using my decoys or anything, or you using your decoys, or, what was probably the biggest crybaby call that came out this year? People just cried over it. I'm talking about cried over it. I know you know. Mm-hmm. I know you know.
I know.
Would it be, would the inventor be like initials be BM? Or, B, yeah. No, BB, wouldn't it? BB.
I would say so. I've seen a lot on that. It don't matter what form you're on.
Oh, my God. I've never, listen, you should be thankful them people are out there using that damn call. If you don't know what we're talking about Bo Brooks' little gobbling tube thing. I don't own one. I don't gobble in the woods. If I could, I have carried a gobble thing that you shake with them gobble shakers, but I've never really used them. Will they work? I think they would work if you got a dominant bird that won't come in or something. But my God, at the people. Well, you're going to hear it's gobbling turkeys all over the woods, everywhere on every management area in the state forest. And you know what? You know where the damn hunters are. Go where you don't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't gobble. Guess what? If they're all out there gobbling and you sitting over yonder way away from them and you lightly yelping, guess what? You probably going to kill a turkey.
He'd a whole lot rather come to that hen.
Yeah, he don't want to fight unless he has to. I mean, my God. Yeah, I mean, at daylight, there's some dude on the ridge gobbling. I mean, you're going to know. There ain't a whole lot of people that can gobble that sounds like a gobbler. Russell Andrews, okay, yeah. I mean, they're out there. Bo Brooks, yes. I mean, Shane Simpson, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, they all can gobble. But, yeah, just do your thing and don't worry about other people.
And Nick Wilson.
Don't forget Nick Wilson. Oh, yeah, all green jeans, Nick Wilson. He can gobble doggone good. He's won a contest. I think he won a couple of weeks ago gobbling.
Yeah.
And I've won gobbling, but I've been gobble a biscuit and maybe some chicken, eggs, and chocolate cake. That's about the only gobbling I do. But anyway, I just folks, do your own thing. Quit worrying about what the other person does. Don't fight them at the gate. Just drive on. You know, yeah, you might. I heard Nick talk about this on last week's podcast. That he was somewhere and they pulled up to their spot and the guy was there. They moved on to plan B, like we've talked about.
Like we did.
They go to plan B. Nobody's there. He parks. Him and his nephew get out, go down the road, and they ain't far down through there, and here comes some lights. Two sets of side-by-sides. He said, I don't block roads. I think he's in it's some kind of club I think he's in. It wasn't like it was public. But these guys come driving down through there and it's like, hey, hello, bud. Basically, what are you doing? And the old man said, well, we got our setups down here. We put our stuff out yesterday evening. He said, you ain't going down there, Bubba. And he kind of felt bad because they had a kid. It was youth.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked at it like a teaching moment. You know, like, okay, Grandpa can look at the kid or Daddy and go, they beat us here. And basically they turned around and left. And he did say he kind of felt bad. And I don't blame him. Any normal person with a conscience probably would. You would feel a little. And maybe he even said, maybe I should have said, well, y'all go on to there, but we're going to hunt over here.
Yeah, we're going
whatever.
But something.
He said he got down there. They had blinds, chairs. Said it looked like Alex DeBoard. Decoys set up. Had 7 turkeys, decoys out.
They
Gobblers and hens. Anyway, they did. I don't think they didn't do no good there. They ended up killing a bird, though. Congratulations to his nephew on that. So, anyway, so let's just refresh everybody. You get to hunt a day earlier than the rest of us normal people because you're a disabled veteran. I'm not sure what you disabled over, but you know.
You've been around me enough.
I know that. Well, listen, I know about a little PTSD when tornadoes come through and golf ball size hail's falling.
Yeah.
That's when I just shut up and start gathering my stuff. When somebody looks at you, I'm done. I'm done. And then turkeys gobble about 15 minutes later, and we're not done.
We got to go.
All of a sudden,
we got to go.
All of a sudden, what is it? Shoot. I know what I want to say, and I can't think of the words. Anyway, you were comforted.
Yeah.
You got past it.
A bad situation was turned into a good situation.
I mean, we didn't do no good on it, but anyway. So anyway, you hunted March 24th.
Yep. In a club I'm in down in Randolph County.
Oh, Randolph County. You've gave it away.
It's private.
Private
club.
Okay, so if you come in on him, you're poaching.
Yeah.
Unless you're a club member.
Yep.
But how did that day go?
God, I wish I wrote some stuff down. I mean, you've been so many places now I'm thinking, but let's see. I know. Yeah. Yep. I got there super early, waited, didn't hear anything. Knew where birds normally are, so I kind of started making my way that way. And the birds didn't gobble till like 5 after 7. I mean, it had been daylight.
Light.
And when they start, I'm in between them and the hens, and I just have to take cover. I have to find me a spot. I mean, I hadn't called to them yet. I'm pinned down.
You're pinned down.
I got hens behind me, hens in front of me, and gobblers to my left and right.
But that's not a bad.
It's not a bad thing.
If you got somewhere to sit.
And so, and I showed you recently where I set up, and it was a good little spot.
Good spot.
And
I mean, at least you wasn't where you couldn't get nowhere quick.
I got up in some little pines with some privet hedges, and I mean, I was broke up good in there. And but as the morning progressed, those hens and the gobblers all went off of us onto another property I couldn't get on. But I did hang out there until about 9:30, and then I made a move to the upper side of the property to see if I could strike one up there. Didn't strike one, but I did get in another hardwood bottom that I've killed turkeys in before, and I just enjoyed the day. I mean, done a little soft calling. Thought, something may fire off, hens break off, and it's happened there plenty of times. Well, I mean,
the whole reason of the laying season like they're doing supposedly is give the hens time to be bred. They should be laying.
Right.
If they're not laying by now, they should be laying. They should be well into laying.
Oh, yeah.
So they should be breaking away. Like I said, this is April 7th. This will probably be the end of April, 1st of May before you hear this. So by then, hens should be setting.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hot. And if you haven't been bit by a rattlesnake, you've a good chance of being bit.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But I hunted till 1:45 that day. And then I packed my stuff up and come home. I had an engagement with a friend of mine. We've been trying to hunt together for a while, and we got to go one time last year, and he invited me to go with him on opening day on his club, and I came back up here, and so didn't do any good the 24th, and the 25th went down on the Coleman-Walker County line and hunted with a friend of mine, Jeff, at his club, and we heard one bird and got set up on it and was able to call it in. And unfortunately, I rode the bird and could not find it. I spent 2.5 hours looking for the bird.
I was getting those texts.
I mean, I tried everything I could.
I was blood trailing.
I flipped rocks over. I climbed all the way down a bluff, all the way back up the bluff, and with no success. And, I was pretty much told Jeff I was done. We'd try to get him on a bird after that. And he said, he's an older gentleman. And he told me, he said, son, this just happens. He said, you ain't putting no gun up. We're going after another bird. And we got back up to my side by side. We was going to move to another place. And I heard a bird gobble, and truck went on by. It was a real loud truck, and he gobbled when the truck went by, and it kind of all went together. And after the truck went by, him and another bird gobbled. It was lower, and me and Jeff split up, set up on those birds, and I was able to get mine called up and got him killed. And see, my bird was 7/8 on one side, inch on the other, and 10-inch beard, right?
I can go back to the text.
It was 10
take me an hour.
10-inch beard, and
me and you talk more than me and my wife do. So
I don't even remember the weight now. It was a little less than 20 pounds.
Yeah, I think it was like 19 pounds.
19,
which is a heavy bird for Alabama. I mean, all the birds so far I've been seeing killed, they've all been. They ain't none of them been 17 pounders.
It's the way you want it. It was a 20. I got him caught up to 20.
He's probably a 3+ year old.
Yeah, he had sharp hooks.
So. A 2-year-old bird's usually going to have probably like a 7/8 inch spur. So you get over an inch or better, then it's probably a 3.5-year-old. You can't guess after that. There is no guessing. But we'll get into that on one of my birds, but I mean, you can if you've got history with them and see them and they've got some distinct markings or whatever. But after 2 years old, there's hard to age a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, that wrapped my opening day up. So you might as well go over your 25th.
My 25th started down around my dad's. Me and my brother met down there. We've kind of made it kind of a tradition to hunt together on opening day. And it ain't a long running tradition. Good Friday was our traditional tradition, but he bailed on me this Good Friday. Grandkids, for some reason, is more important than brothers. I don't know. But anyway, we met down there. Got there about 6. I got there I got there at 5:45. I'm out. I have to put my tetras in. And, I like being ready. And of course, it's still black dark. And roll up, and we get out there, and we don't go too far. We just walk out the top of the hill, out a couple 200-300 yards from the house, and nothing. But just about the time you start hearing those little Tweety birds or whatever, man, one fired off. And it was a turkey gobbling dang fest. We had 3 in front of us within 100 yards. If it was more than 100, it could have been more than 125 yards. Right off across a scope of pine trees off the side of a hill. One was off to our left, sounded almost like it was back behind my grandmother's old place. And then one little left of my dad's house and one straight in front of us off down the hill. And then we had 2 fired off behind us. Now, that's not our property, but they were plenty close enough that we could, they could come in.
Workable.
Oh, yeah. And then I didn't hear it, and not because I've got my new Tetris, and which I'm loving these new Alpha Shield 2s. I'm sure we'll get more talk about them somewhere down the road. But my brother heard one across the creek, and I'd say that's probably, 700-800 yards, maybe 1,000 yards away. I don't know. I didn't hear it, but I could have been rustling around, and with those tetras in, a little bit of leaf rustling and stuff, I wouldn't have heard something that far. If I'd been sitting there super quiet, yeah, I probably would have, because I heard one gobble he didn't hear, and then it gobbled again, and he was paying attention. He heard it. So, but we thought we were in the money because we had them in front of us and behind us. And I'm going to tell you what, when them turkeys hit the ground, maybe 1 or 2 gobbles. And when I say 1 or 2, not 1 or 2 from each one of them, I'm saying 1 or 2 gobbles.
Right.
And they didn't make another sound. We didn't hear no hens. I didn't hear them. He didn't hear them. But we feel sure they were all roosted right there had their own hens, or maybe those 3 that was in front of us kind of had their own group of hens right in there somewhere. They might have been all together, broke up. The ones behind us, we feel sure they had hens. Matter of fact, I don't know. I guess it's probably 7:30, 7:45. We had a hen come in. It was a hen and a jake. Well, first let's see. That was the next day. I think that's how that went. I'm like you, the days were kind of running together. But anyway, I had a hen come through. No, nothing following her. Come right up. I mean, I caught to my left as far as I could, cut my eyes around, and saw a turkey. And she come across the field and went on into the pines and was headed toward those gobbling birds, I guess. I don't know if she had a nest over there already or if she was going to those hens. I don't know why she'd have come that far. There was turkeys gobbling back where she came from. So anyway, and yeah, that was it. That was it for that morning. I went to work. So I hunted till about 9, and then I went on and went to work. And trying to think of what I did. Oh, no, I was off that day. I went home. I'm sorry. The next day is when I went to work. But went home and I went over to my uncle's farm over in Walker County. I think me and you text. I was out there. It was pretty warm. Nothing. Didn't see. I don't think I seen a bird that day. Well, one hen, I think. But that evening, it was just nothing. I think I texted you about 6:45. Said it's over.
Yeah.
I gathered my stuff up and I left. And that was my opening day.
Mm-hmm.
The 26th, we're back at my dad's house. And same time, we get out there. Birds gobbled a little bit. There wasn't as much gobbling. And but still had birds behind us and in front of us, kind of in the same places. You know, hindsight being 2020, I would have went on out in the woods, tried to get closer to those birds, but we just felt like they was going to come down. Once again, you know, you can't hunt a trail camera picture, but I had a lot of pictures of them over there in that field strutting with the hens.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of clover out in that field, and we just thought it's not a very big spot either. So, you know, just them milling around, they might pop out over there, but it got, I don't know. It was after 9 and I was going to go on to work. And well, let me take that back, because I'd say long about 8 o'clock again, I caught movement, and it was a hen and a jake. First I thought it was a gobbler, and then that head just stayed red. And when he finally got closer, he come in from behind, across the railroad behind me, and come up through there. But he didn't have a little 2-inch beard. Came in, didn't even stick their heads down in the green field, went straight across it, hit the pine tree line, went around, and just followed a little old 4-wheeler trail off in the woods. I don't know if they were going to those goblin birds or what. Paid no attention to our calling, didn't even slow down. They wasn't 25 yards from us the whole time. So about 9 o'clock, I told him, I said, I got to go. It might have been 9:30, somewhere in there. And I told him, I said, well, I'm going to walk out down the railroad behind us so I don't mess nothing up. If anything, you know, a lot more cover where we'd heard most of the birds where we thought they'd come from. And of course, I went back and changed clothes, jumped in the truck. It's about a 40-minute ride to work. And before I got to work, got a call. He'd done killed one. The bird behind us on the other property had gobbled. And he called and it answered him. And then he's a pretty good turkey hunter himself. And he had waited and wait, you know. He yelped again or something. He's got that Christopher King crystal call I picked up for him one year. And he yelped on it and it cut him off, and it was behind him less than probably 30 yards. He said it scared him to death. And I know, man, you've got that jump before, but he said he tried to turn, you know, could look and he couldn't see, he couldn't get turned around. He's sitting on, you know, a fairly good sized pine tree, a big enough pine tree. And he had a ghost blind in front of him. And he could hear the turkey gobbling and drum. And finally, he said he got his head turned just enough and his eyes cracked around. He could see the turkey coming. It would just take a step or two and blow up in the strut. And he went behind a tree where he could get his gun moved around. And now he's the world's worst at this, but he shot the damn thing full strut. He will shoot him in strut. He don't care. He just does not care. The best well-laid plans, you know, me and him's hunted together, and, you know, 2 comes in, you know, I'm on your right. I shoot the first one. You're on my left. You'll shoot, you know, if they come in from the left, you shoot the second one. No. First bird walks in front of him, he kills. You know, I had to shoot the left one that year we went to Florida. Matter of fact, that thing had just got up about 10 feet off the ground when I knocked it out of there like a big old duck. But anyway, so he killed that afternoon or that morning. And I'm trying to think if that was the evening I went back to Fred's or if that was on the 27th. I think that was 27th. I went over there.
I know it was on
it
Friday.
was. So that was the 27th. Anyway, so that got me through the second day. Did you hunt on the 26th?
No,
27th?
I had to work that day.
So 27th.
I worked.
That Friday. We're back there again. Feeling pretty good. Turkey's been gobbling, unlike years in the past. We get out there. Tweety birds start tweeting. Sun starts breaking. We hoot. Crows are cawing. Woodpeckers are woodpeckering, or whatever you want to call them. And nothing. Not a gobble. If there was a gobble, I didn't hear it. Woods were silent. And you go, okay, that's not unusual. Turkeys don't gobble every day. But these birds were gone. I'm talking about gone. And I think I hunted till 10 o'clock that morning. And I left. We did move and tried to move off down into the woods where, nothing. There was nothing. This has happened over there before. They just leave. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's so much better, what could be any better. We got perfect habitat over there. It's not thick woods. It's not thin woods. They got green fields to eat in, acorns to eat on. The hens was eating acorns in my dad's front yard the week before season come in. He had 4 right there. I'm talking about within 10 yards of his front steps. But anyway, I left. Well, I think Mark left that morning too, yeah. And I went on to work. And he was off. I don't know. He went crappie fishing, I think. But about, I don't know, 1:30, I'm sitting there going, I need to go back to Fred's over there in Walker County. It was real quiet. I caught up on my work I was doing, and I told Shelby in the office, I said, hey, if it's quiet, 2:30, I'm going to slip out of here because it's not quite an hour drive there, but just close to it. And, of course, even when you get there, if you got there at 3 o'clock, it's a long time to dark.
Yeah. So
I changed clothes, jumped in my truck, and I head to Walker County. Not giving any pins away there. Walker County's a big place. And he's my uncle, but his name ain't my same last name, so you quit looking for property owners. So I get there. And it's windy. The wind has picked up. It's pretty windy that day, that afternoon. And I walked around top of the hill calling, trying to strike one. And, okay, you anti-blind people, get ready to get mad. But I got a blind set up out there on the road where I've seen lots of turkeys. I really got it set up. I was hoping it would be covered up with turkeys. I'd get my grandson out there. Usually I've had a deception blind there. This time I put a rhino big blind out there. And yeah, I'm going to hunt in, especially if it's going to rain, or like that day, it was windy and couldn't hear nothing anyway, but I got a lot of roads to look at and I can call. And I don't know what time it was, but I'd made a series of calls. I haven't heard nothing. And I'd call about every 15, 20 minutes. And I don't know. It was after 4 o'clock. Let's just put it that way. I called and I looked and I could see coming through the pines around this road 3 turkeys. And I mean, they were on a fast trot. I'm thinking, hell yeah. Oh, Anthony's calling has done, fired them up. I'm fixing to kill one because I knew there'd been 3 gobblers running together. They turned the corner. All Jakes. I went, damn, I'm going to Jake jail tonight. No hens, no nothing. And them things come around. I mean, they come up that road. They were looking for that hen. And they go back down the road, and they come up the road. They'd drift away, and I'd think they was gone, and I'd call, and here they come back. And long about, I don't know, it was after 5 then. I'll say 10 after. Might have been 15 after. I don't time goes fast but slow when things start happening for me. I don't know, maybe I don't know if that's an old man thing or if that's a normal. Anyway, these jakes are down the road from me. Thank God it wasn't May 9th or 10th and I hadn't killed nothing, because it would have been a bad day to be a jake, because I'd have carried one home probably. I know you anti-jake people, but you can't tell the difference in flavor. Anyway, I catch movement to my left coming up and around through this pine thicket, and I see this black blob, and in my mind, I think, that's a doggone coyote. There's a coyote running up here. He's going to try to catch one of these turkeys. And I'm thinking, well, I'll get to kill a coyote.
Yeah.
And as it comes around, it makes around, no, it's a big old gobbler. And right behind him is his twin brother. And they come out, I'm talking about, they come at a full run. They couldn't have ran no faster if they were running for their lives. And they hit that road, and them two big old gobblers proceeded to beat the living crap out of them three jakes. I'm talking about them jakes couldn't get away from them. I don't know how two turkeys beat up three, but they would. They just leave one and grab the other. And they was down the hill, around the hill, back and forth, up and down. And I'm thinking, my God, I'm not even going to get a shot. They're going to run these things off and be off in the woods. And finally, I don't know which one it was. It don't matter, because to me, they were both full-grown birds. One of them he run a jake back out into the road down from me about, 30 yards. And I putted, not an alarm putt or anything. I was just trying to make a sound. He didn't stop, but he did kind of like look. I don't know how to explain it. And it was enough time I could shoot. He was the only one. The jake was going back into the woods, and I shot him. And that's the end of that story. He took a ride to the house. Real good bird. He was a little over 20 pounds. You can't go by my uncle's scales. And I didn't weigh him here. He weighed like 21 pounds on my uncle's scales, but I didn't weigh him when I got here because it was already dark and I was trying to clean him. But he had, what'd I tell you, 11-inch beard, something like that?
I think so.
1-inch spurs, 1.8 spurs. Beautiful turkey. Just a beautiful turkey. First one to do my DNA test on.
Yeah.
I'm in that DNA testing. So I've got you just trim a little piece of a tongue off of it. It's a process. I didn't know it was all this stuff. Nick Wilson didn't mention none of this. I don't know if he did that kind of stuff with his bird out of, he brought back from New Zealand, but man, I had to take pictures of the feet, the head, the wings. Then you had to answer a bunch of questions about it. I think you saw the directions, but it was interesting. Very easy though. I had a pair of I don't know what the surgical name for them is, but they're them scissors they cut with, and I clipped a 1/4 inch of his tongue off, dropped it in a little vial. You know, that vial's got a barcode and number on it, and all that information, I had to put that number in, and it'll be linked to that vial. So anyway, that is the story on that turkey. Those two gobblers, I truly believe, was coming. They heard the hen yelping, and that would have been me. And I think they were coming up the hill and caught a glimpse of those jakes out there and said, "Oh no, you're not breeding that hen."
Mm-hmm.
And they, come on in. So that was my Friday afternoon. I've had a lot of luck hunting in the afternoons. I really have. Yeah. I much enjoy hunting in the afternoons. I know a lot of people don't. And to me, other than standing there in the dark waiting on one to gobble, I've heard people talking about, I don't really know how to hunt in the afternoons. Well, you just walk around and call, look for signs, sit down like you would anywhere, 30, 40 minutes, don't see nothing. You get up and move on. Now, I wasn't going nowhere because the wind was blowing so hard. I wouldn't have heard much anyway. I did hear the jakes yelping when I was down there admiring the dead turkey. So, but that was my 27th hunt. And then
28.
28 would be Saturday.
Yep. I had some things to do. You had some things to do, and then we left for Pickens. We left for Pickens County.
Yep, I sure did. I didn't hunt that morning. I'd killed late that evening. I went ahead and slept in. Been getting up at 4 o'clock every morning. Felt good about having a bird anyway. You had a bird. You killed one. So opening week was already turned out pretty good compared to opening weeks we've had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to work, and then I met you. I don't know what time it was.
I think it was
About
1:30.
1:30, yeah.
Like that.
And we took off to Pickens County. Nope, we ain't dropping no pins or nothing else, but it's private land. And you can tell that story if you want to.
Well, we got over there in time to do a little switch out clothes, and we kind of went on a afternoon turkey hunt / scouting trip's what I would call it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we struck one good, we was going to try to see what we could do with it. But if not, we were trying to look for sign because I hadn't been down there and really got to scout. It'd been 3 weeks since I'd been down there, and so we done that, checked out 2 different pieces of property, and then it was uneventful, but we did eat good that night. We done chops.
Well, we tried to roost them.
Yeah.
But no luck. Lots of sign, though. Lots of sign.
And so we got up Saturday morning early and got after it again, trying to hear one on the roost. And we were unsuccessful on the first piece of property. Mm-hmm. So we took off to, I guess it's about 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
To another piece of property.
Not that far, just the roads are so rough. You got to take it slow.
And full of dust.
Dusty.
And we hunted. We didn't hear anything that morning. But we went several places and tried to strike one. And
we walked. We did a good bit of walking.
Mm-hmm.
Listening. Lots of crows.
More scouting.
Owls. We heard owls, heard crows, a lot of scouting. Went across a creek. I thought was going to, that new side by side of yours was going to run off them rails. It was underwater. We had to go across.
We made it.
We made it.
Barely.
I
think it was worse coming back. Water was kind of muddy. You couldn't
where
see.
you'd been through it. It wasn't moving much.
No.
So,
but we ended up not, to make that story kind of short, we enjoyed ourselves, but we didn't get on a bird.
No birds. No birds died in this story.
No. And we ended up coming home that night. We got home later, and I'm not real sure. That would have been, so we come home. Yeah, we come home later Sunday evening. That's what it was.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yep. And then because I had a job to start on Monday, which would have been last Monday. Mm-hmm. I had to start that big dirt job.
I didn't hunt anymore that week. My brother
had to go pick your dad up Sunday evening. That's why we come back early.
Yeah, my dad had his it was his right eye, but he had already had cataract surgery on one, and I had to pick him up Sunday. Lord, people, I know I'll be this way one day, but Lord help me. I picked him up Sunday, brought him home Monday. He had his post-operative check on his left eye, which was real good, good results on it. Tuesday, I went to work, left him at home here. And Wednesday morning, I had to get up and carry him back to the eye doctor and hospital to get the right eye done, which that was like 10 o'clock in the morning. And come home, and I had to have him back there the next morning at 9 o'clock for a post-operative visit. And when we left there, I carried him on home, and then I went to work for the rest of the day. That would have been Thursday.
Yeah.
And then that's when you and I was talking, and you concocted this plan. I wasn't planning on being off. It was going to be Good Friday, but me and my brother normally hunts, and I talked to him, and his grandson outranked me, and they weren't he wasn't turkey hunting or anything, but he was coming to stay the night with him, and they were going. He lives on a little private lake, and they were going to go crappie fishing and that kind of thing. And I don't blame him a bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, you was kind enough to invite me to tag along down there at your place in Randolph County.
Yep. We left Thursday night. It was late when we got down there. It was late
because
it was 10:30 when we pulled up at camp.
I mean, I didn't get home from work till 5:30.
Yeah.
And it was probably 6:30 when I got to your house.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And we still had to stop and pick up a few groceries
and get some gas. And then
it was 10:30 when we rode into camp, which is an hour and a half past your bedtime.
Way past my bedtime.
I knew the next morning was going to be a rough call for both of us because it was kind of late time we got everything unpacked and laid out.
Well, you know, and I've been down there before, but it's not like I go down there all the time. And so I'm in a new bed, place to sleep. You know, it's just a little bit different, but I don't think it took me long to go to sleep that night once we finally said we're going to sleep.
You were asleep way before I was.
So, but we get up, not soup. What time we get up? 5:30?
5 o'clock.
5:30, somewhere in there. And
we rolled out at 5:30.
Yeah, because I got up, made some coffee. You don't drink, I don't know how in the world you can function without a cup of coffee first thing in the morning. But I drank my coffee, and I think we put some snack sticks in the vest. We didn't eat our oatmeal cream pie that morning.
That's probably what happened.
That was probably exactly. But we went off to one of your favorite places on the club, and you can take it over from there.
Well, it worked out pretty good when they started gobbling.
Oh, my God.
We had 2 gobbling within, I would say, 100 anyway.
Yeah, at least, probably. Maybe under 100, but it was no further than 100.
But it was already starting to get daylight once again, and them birds were a little late on the gobble. And so we set up and tried to work those birds, and, of course, started hearing hens when they hit the ground. Heard another bird kind of way off behind us, and then so there was a few birds in there.
I was shocked.
Yeah, and we hunted until I think it was about 11:30 or something that morning.
We moved once.
Yeah, moved.
We didn't move right. I mean, I would have never. I didn't know the land anyway, but I think you probably did. But it was really too late by the time we decided to move from our first setup to go where we ended up the next morning. But
yeah,
if we'd have went down there, we might have had a shot.
Yeah, because when we had a bird fire off about 9:30.
Yeah, and
we started calling to him, working him, but he never would.
He would not come up that hill.
Would not come up the hill to where he's at. He stayed in the bottom down there, and I mean he burned it up for a while. The last time he gobbled, he was probably 75 or 80 off in that hole.
Oh yeah,
probably.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was moving left back toward where the other 2 gobbling turkeys. Mm-hmm. You know, not where they were, but in that direction.
And then that hen, with that weird that was the most high pitched hen I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, she joined him down there, and they didn't come up to check the other hens out. She took him on.
No, she said, "He's mine. She's mine. Y'all just go find you somebody else."
Then it was crickets after that, and
and it started getting hot.
And on the walk out, we called, crow called, tried to strike one, and in a couple of places where we knew we could make setups, we struck a crystal pot call, and we didn't strike anything, so we went on back and ran and done some stuff we had to do.
Wait a minute. When we got to the truck, what'd you say?
Let's check
around for some tracks.
Yeah, there's always
a bird seems to come up here.
Right by the truck every time you hunt.
And it had rained that evening before.
Yep.
And you was over there looking on one area, and I walked up right down the road a little bit, and there the son of a gun had walked down through there that morning.
Come right behind my truck.
Come right behind your truck, walk right around it, and then look, I guess went off the hill right in there.
I've seen them walk within like 6 inches of the tire, like they could see themselves was going to fight themselves. I don't know. They always do that.
It's crazy.
But we went back, done a few things, kicked back for a while, relaxed. There were some more guys in the camp. They were down there fishing, and they were wanting to cook steaks. So we kind of got some steaks marinated and this and that. And we left back out about 3:30, I guess.
Yep.
We went and got, it was super hot. It was super hot.
Man.
And,
Bad hot.
We went out, or we got set back in the woods about 4, I guess. And
We stayed to dark
yeah, plumb dark.
because we was going to try to hopefully hear one gobble on the roost.
We were unsuccessful roosting one. So we went back, ate a killer steak,
Oh, yeah.
real good steak, and sweet tater. Enjoyed talking to the guys about their day of fishing, and they had warm out as usual.
Oh, yeah.
And
Them some crappie fishing fools out there.
so we,
That's my kind of club members. Though.
Yeah.
They ain't turkey hunting, they crappie fishing.
they don't even deer hunt. They just straight crappie fish. And so we hung out with them for a while and went back and kind of got ready to bed down for the night because we was wore out from the night before and the day, and
Kind of come up with a game plan.
had a good game plan. I actually kept strategizing after you went to sleep, trying to just figure
I'm sorry.
out.
When the lights go out, I'm not going to be around long.
I was just trying to figure out how we. Well, let's just make a long story short. These birds were roosting very close to the property line, and I'm not crossing the property line. And so we were trying to figure out a way, or I was that night trying to figure out how we could get in front of these birds. And we had looked at a couple areas while we were trying to roost one they right at dark the night before. And so we had a pretty good game plan, but the birds never followed the script.
Nope.
So Sunday morning, no, that would have been Saturday morning. I'm sorry, Saturday morning, we got in there even earlier. We left camp. We were in there about 5:15, I guess 5:20, and went ahead and started our walk because it's a pretty good walk, and we knew where those birds was the morning before. So we were trying to get into that area, and we got set up and. Once again, to me, it was later.
We grabbed our stuff and moved off down in the woods where if we'd have been there that day before was a sure thing probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd have killed one, but we would have got a shot at
multiple
one.
opportunities.
Yeah. Yes.
So we moved into that area. We tried to put
we were
ourselves
there
in the seat.
at gobbling time. We were down in there.
Yeah. And Lord,
And they gobbled.
yeah. Once again, a little bit late though, because you couldn't move. It was already bright daylight, but they had decided they would roost even closer to the property line and not even give us a chance to cut them off.
So
but we did tree talk to them.
Yep.
And they gobbled us a few times.
They knew we was there.
Yeah. And man, it did not work
It was just
out.
a slow morning.
Couple jakes come in.
We saw the jakes. Which was fun and interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we know why they're not in the green fields. We'd kind of done figured that out from that first turkey I killed that was full of acorns. I didn't even mention that. Maybe I didn't mention that on the story, but if you're not seeing birds in your green fields and you've got a lot of acorn trees, water oaks, pin oaks, red oaks, chances are them birds, they're just gorging on those acorns and they're still doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we watched them for 2 hours.
2 hours. Those turkeys didn't go 50 yards one way or the other down in front of us, back and forth, just scratching and eating. And they could give a rat's butthole about what we were hens. We could have been the horniest hens in the woods, and they may pick their head up and look, but they were more interested in eating. And that's what young turkeys,
And we got into the wind really started picking up that day too, bringing that front in, and
yes.
But boy, it got hot.
Yeah, it
and
sure
hot
did.
quick. We was in a roast session.
But we stayed there till 11.
It was after 11.
Yeah, before we decided to call it.
We was cooking like a rotisserie chicken.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I had plans for Sunday. Plus that front was going to come in. It was supposed to pour rain, possibly storm, and so we done kind of the same plan we did the day before. We crow called and made some calls on the way out. And even when we got to the top to see if the gobbler walks around my truck, if he was there, but he wasn't.
He wasn't there.
So it was a great hunt. It was fun. Once again, learn a little bit more about these crazy birds and about the land that I've hunted a long time, it seems like you always find a new hole or a new little something every time you hunt it. But
isn't it amazing? All the years you've been there. The same way with me on my property. I've been in that same place, but I find new spots and things.
And I have deer hunted that, squirrel hunted it with my squirrel dogs, and I found a lot of deer sign for the guys that deer hunt from squirrel hunting down there. Of course, our club's open to whatever legal game it is, so I waited till after deer season and took my squirrel dogs, and I told them guys, I said, y'all need to be in here hunting. I'm finding scrapes and rubs, but you always find some new areas. Sometimes you come across some pretty cool stuff.
And that's a cool thing if you got Onyx or some kind of mapping pro. You find a scrape or rub line or something, you can mark that, or you might find a oak tree with busted holes all under it and said, man, if I'd have been hunting here.
A lot of scratching.
Mark it, make a note. Hey, white oak's in here. Great bow hunting spot or whatever. Turkey gobbled over there.
Well, we come up on all those antique bottles at one time. Mm-hmm. You're always coming up and finding new stuff. I found when I turkey hunted last year, I found a deadhead from where my buddy Bones had shot one the year before that he swore up and down he hit it, but we couldn't find no blood, and apparently he did. I got the rack out. The squirrels had chewed a little bit of it, but he said, that's him. Yeah. That's the deer I killed, and
I remember seeing that deer, that deadhead.
Yep. So that pretty much took care of.
That wrapped us up Saturday.
Yep.
And then Saturday night, the rain came. It was raining by dark here.
Yeah.
Wind too, some big wind.
It poured at my house.
And I had debated whether I was going to hunt or not hunt. I know it was Easter morning and that kind of thing, but I kept watching the weather and looking at it before I went to bed. It was still 10 o'clock when I went to bed. It was late for me but it was showing the rain was going to be moving out about 6.
Yeah.
So, up in the area I was going to hunt over there in Walker County. And you had Easter plans, so you weren't going to hunt. Well, you thought about it, but then again, y'all left so early you wasn't going to hunt. You wouldn't have much time anyway. But so anyway, I get up. I went ahead and got up at 4 o'clock that morning because I wanted to be on the weather, and I was on my. Of course, ain't no weather on TV on Sunday morning, but I was watching the radar, and it still showed it was going to be gone by maybe just some sprinkles or so, after 6. So I left out so I could be over there. It's about a 40-minute ride. Then I timed it where I'd be there about 6:30. And when I got there, of course, it was cloudy, wasn't raining, and the wind was blowing, of course, but I got all my stuff, excuse me, and went out on top of the hill and listened. Of course, it was gobbling time, but it was so windy. I waited till I could hear some crows calling around. I yelped and crow called, and I walked the whole, I'd call it a ridge, but it ain't a ridge. I'm going to say the hilltop all the way around. And as I went off, I assumed they were going to be in the bottoms. This was my deal. I assumed they'd be in the bottoms, and I thought they'd fly down them fields down there. So it's probably 3/4 mile walk down there, but I made it in there. It was pretty bright. And of course, I'm slipping around listening and crow calling, trying, nothing. Get set up, had a great spot set up. I carried my decoy, put it out. It's first legal day for decoys. And I was down there, up till, I don't know, 8:30. And my uncle texted me and he said, hey, there's turkeys in the backyard. I went, God almighty. They're supposed to be in the bottoms. It's windy up there on top of the hill. So I sat there and debated, and I said, shoot, I'm going to go up top. And man, I gathered my stuff. I had my chair, the gun, the decoy, I don't care but one decoy. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to walk that hill so you can see what it's like. But I thought I don't get winded too much, and I was a fast pace.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't make it to the top. I had to stop, and I couldn't even get my breath. I almost thought I had asthma attack, which I don't have asthma, but I just could not get my breath. And anyway, I stopped for a minute or two, then I got to the top of the hill, walked right past where I'd killed that first turkey. And I said, he's got a big old green field between where I killed that turkey and his house. And I got over there in the pines, a nice little spot. You can see all the way back toward his barn back in there, and got set up, moved trees once, put my decoy back out in there, and I sat down, and I'm not kidding you. I did a series of yelps and waited about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I did another series of yelps, and I see a turkey coming. It topped the hill, and I said, oh, there he is. He's here. And it was in a trot. Much like the two. I'm in my mind, I'm going, oh, that's that other one. He's in a hurry like he was the other day.
Right.
And that thing come around. He finally got he was within 100 yards or less, maybe 80, and I could see it was a Jake. Oh, doggone Jake. But he had stopped and looked back for some reason, and I thought, when I saw it was Jake, I went, oh, his other two buddies are up there somewhere.
Right.
I'm going, man. Fred saw all these turkeys, and I said, I wonder if it was just all Jakes he was seeing up there. So I'm me and you have texted a little bit back and forth, and I told you I was going to stay till 11. Well, the Jake come on down, fed around, didn't fool with the decoy. Didn't even go over there and check it out, which was kind of weird. I thought it was kind of weird. And he kind of hung a right and went through the pines and went right on down past my blind, past where I got a camera set out. Took a picture of him walking down the road. He wasn't not spooked at all. And I guess that was about 9-ish. I don't know. I'd have to look at the text. Anyway, and I've sat there and I'd call a little bit, and I think me and you text back and forth. I told you I was going to stay to about 11. And I done made up my mind. And sometimes when I make up my mind to stay to 11, 10:30, I'm up. But thank God I didn't, because, it's 10 o'clock. I mean, the sun had broke out. It was really pretty. Mm-hmm. Beautiful bluebird sky, but it was windy. And I had that Christopher King crystal call, and my JT ceramic. That ceramic is more high pitched for some reason. It just sounded better that morning. Nothing against Christopher's call, but I was using that other ceramic call, and I had been making series of yelps and purrs and putts and that kind of thing, and I had just finished one. It was right about 10:30, and I'm looking it's not like I had to turn my head and look. I can just see that whole thing in my vision, and there's another turkey. I know it's I don't know if it's a Jake or a gobbler. It's too big to be a hen. I said, oh, there's another one. And he would have to come another 40 yards before I could really make out detail. Well, when he got 40 yards, another 40 yards in was still probably 80, 85 yards from where I am. He's way up there because it kind of just drops off down to where I am. I could see his beard. And I said, oh, no, that's a man right there. And safety automatically come on off then. And I knew when he dropped off, it kind of the green field kind of crowns and drops off toward the pines. And I knew I'd lose him just like I lost the Jake. But I knew exactly where he'd pop out at. So I'm in my zone, I guess. I mean, the guns, safety's off, the gun's up. I hadn't made another sound. I'm just concentrating on that spot, and sure enough, man, just a couple of minutes went by, and poof, there he was, and he turned. Well, I would say up on top of the hill, I felt like he was a gobbler, because about up in there, about where I could tell, he kind of went in half strut when I guess he saw the decoy, or I don't know. Anyway, he makes a turn, and he's coming toward the decoy, and man, I could have let him get within 10 yards of me, I guess. The decoy, I shouldn't say, the decoy is about 20 yards out. But, anything can happen turkey hunting. Mm-hmm. When you have the shot opportunity, and I'm not doing this for TV. I'm not filming, as you well know from the Florida thing. Mm-hmm. you kill them when you can kill them. And that turkey got in range. It's somewhere in between that 30 and 40 yard mark. I don't know exactly. I didn't step it off too much. Could have been a little more than 40. Could have been a little less than 35. I don't know. He's somewhere in there. Anyway, he popped up. And to me, I said, he's fixing to go right like the Jake did. Was he going to go right? No, he was looking right at that hen, but I felt like maybe that was just me convincing myself to pull the trigger, but I already had the dot on him and I smoked him. I mean, he went down and, once again, generally you don't get up and run. I quit getting up and running, but I move quicker after that Randolph County thing a couple of years ago. And I got over there to him and sure enough, I mean, he was dead. I mean, I stood there with my foot on him like old days, but I didn't have to. And I got to looking at him then and I went, oh, first I couldn't tell. But then I was looking at his beard and reached down to get it like, I guess we all do that. And it's separated out and it was two really good beards. One of them's 9.5 inches and the other one's, I think the longest hair on it makes it 8.5 inches. So, you know, I'm all excited. I look down and, you know, he's right about 1.25 inches on these spurs. And I went, that's him. That's the big boy I wanted. We weighed him on Fred scales and it showed he was a little over 20 pounds. And when I got home, I did weigh this one. He weighed 19.9 pounds on my digitals. So he was 20 pounder.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he was that 4-year-old plus bird that I've been after because he was by himself. And I had seen him running with a Jake on camera and Jake did come through, you know, an hour before. So anyway, probably one of the best turkeys I've killed spur. And I know I've killed a triple beard bird, but not big, long beard, full beards like that. You know, his second beard is, I mean, it'd be a pretty good beard on a regular, you know, if it was the only beard he had.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen beards about like that on a bearded hen before. So it's nice. I got him laying here on the table, so we're kind of looking at it. But like I said, I'm real proud of it. Really, really thought about mounting him, and I'm so tight on space. What am I going to, you know? She down there desecrated my other turkey, and what would she do to this one? You know, I know Carrie Marsh, you know, she wanted to mount it. I've got a buddy he done told me he'd mount one for free. He just wants to practice on one. But I decided I'd pluck it. It was my second turkey. I always, if I can kill two, and I have time on them, I'm gonna pluck one, and we cook it for Thanksgiving every year. And you know, thank the Lord for the last 4 or 5 years, I've had one to fry. So that one, he's wrapped up and in the freezer, and he's waiting on November. I kept all the feathers. My wonderful wife thinks she wants to try feather art. We'll see. To my knowledge, today is the 7th, and I killed that one on whatever day Sunday was. Was that the 1st, 2nd, somewhere, 3rd, 4th, whatever it was. Anyway, she has made no attempt to look at the feathers or anything else. I went ahead and put the fan, the wings, and all the feathers in a bag, and I just stuck them in the freezer. Because I figured if she don't do anything, I can get my fan back out and I'll, you know,
just unthaw
flash it and unthaw it and, you know, do my thing with those. But that's my season up to now.
And then we hunted Monday morning.
Yeah,
morning.
that is my season. I forgot about the God Almighty. We have hunted a lot. But you know what? You're not going to kill them sitting at home.
At another new place.
But, yeah, I've never hunted.
Yeah,
around here.
I
mean, I don't know if I was supposed to. I mean,
oh yeah, yeah.
Was I known?
Yeah.
To be there? I didn't know. I stayed quiet.
Yeah, we
so.
But we Well, I called Anthony Sunday night or texting because I was on the road, and I said, "Hey, you want to go in the morning?" Of
You was
course,
coming back from Tennessee, wasn't you? Yeah.
well, turkey's on my mind because I didn't see any all the way to Murfreesboro back. It was sad, man. Just kills me that you don't see them on 65 like you used to. But
No, I get this text. Well, I don't know what time it was. It was dark.
yeah, it was 7:30.
Meet me at the Family Dollar, 5:30.
Yeah.
And I didn't text you right back. It was, let me know.
Yeah, I had looked at the weather and it was showing like 3 to 5 mile an hour winds. And I knew it was going to be cool, but 3 to 5 mile an hour winds, I was like, yeah, there we go. We'll try it. And we did. We tried it. And when I come out of my house yesterday morning, my hat was about to blow off.
It
my
was
head.
3 times 5 mile an hour
Yeah,
winds. What
it
it
was
was.
crazy.
It was. I'm talking about when I opened the door. I could see the water rippling out there in the dark.
And it was cold.
And it was blowing and it was cold. That's right. That finisher suit, though, man, that nice little jacket. And
It helped.
it's just thin enough. I mean, thick enough that it keeps. I stayed fairly warm, other than that bottle of water leaking on me.
Yeah. You need to put your bladder back in
Yeah,
your
I know.
bag. But we tried once again.
We went.
We were
Beautiful woods, beautiful. I don't know why there wasn't no turkeys in there, or I'm sure there was, but
I would like to have been there this morning.
oh yeah.
Of course, I had to go back to work. You had to
Yeah.
go back to work. Work just gets in the way of everything.
I'm gonna give that work stuff up. Sometime. I mean, I really need to win the lottery.
Yeah.
I need to win the lottery, or some Arab needs to land one of them helicopters out there in my parking lot and have this big bag of gold and say, "Hey, I'm on the air conditioning company."
Yes.
And I don't know if that sounded like an Arab or not, but anyway, I keep thinking of what was that movie where the 2 old men raised a little boy, Secondhand Lines.
Yeah.
At the end of it, the Arab lands the helicopter out there in the yard. But I keep hoping one of them will land down there downtown in my back lot. So, but yeah, that season up to now
Yep.
been exciting. We've been in turkeys, not every time, but when we've been in them, we've been in them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what else I got. We're going to be on the roads real soon.
So this is probably our last weekend to hunt Alabama for a little while.
Yeah, I'm going to
anyway.
go hunt. I'm going to try to go hunt down in Dallas County. My private land I own down that way. I may travel around the club property and look for tracks or something if I have time after I come out. But I sure would like to kill one down there. I've put in so much work. But, it's not – I'm putting it in for the animals, not just to kill animals.
Yeah.
So, where are you thinking about you going to go?
I have no idea. Since the forest opens up tomorrow, I mean, that's always an option. And then, the place we hunted yesterday,
Yeah.
that's an option. And then, man, I almost decided just to go back to Randolph County, but
I'm telling you, I don't know if I wouldn't.
I've got I just kind of got to see how my week goes. But
They're gobbling down there.
I'm gonna be hunting somewhere this week.
I'm going to be honest with you. If that was my choices, I'd be back in Randolph County. Now grant you, if you can get down there.
And if I don't get off work at 6:00 Friday night, because I really don't want to do that whole 10:30, 11 thing again.
Yeah, but if you kill one, it'd be all worth it.
Oh yeah, I'd love to finish up a project by Thursday and roll out and be there for Friday morning, but
Yeah.
I just don't foresee that happening.
Well, you better do all the work you can do. We fixing to be, like I said, out on the road. We leave on the 18th or 19th of April, and we'll be gone till get home probably on the 25th, unless things work out and we kill quick and can get back earlier and come home, take a shower, wash clothes, work for a couple of days, and then we'll be on the road again to Illinois. Hopefully that'll go fast. And don't get me wrong, when I say fast, we get us a couple turkeys killed. We still got more traveling to do if we can, and it's just time away from home. We can turn around and get back. If we kill the turkey in the first couple of days, we're going to come home that third morning or whatever, It's just the way it is. And
I've got my son's graduating. So,
yep.
I mean,
we've got to get back for that no matter
Yeah.
what. We've killed turkeys up there. Like I said, it's not all about killing, but you want to kill a turkey if you're a turkey hunter. I enjoy just sitting in the woods. That's some of the most beautiful woods there is up there in the part of Illinois we're hunting. And no, I'm not going to tell you where it is. And
it's in Illinois.
it's in Illinois. And I know, beep. A lot of people just beep out the state, but holy crap, people! I mean, that's
It's a
getting
big state.
It's just getting a little silly to me on that kind of thing.
Well, we turkey hunt in Cook County.
Yeah.
That's where my in-laws live.
Pike. I'm on Pike County, Illinois, where I turkey hunt.
They in Cook County, right there in Chicago.
Oh my God! Drop a pin right downtown.
Tell you what, though, there'd be some guys that would love to kill some of them deer right there.
I bet they would.
Resurrection Cemetery's got some of the biggest deer I've ever seen
Really?
in my life. Yes.
Well, look, we've rambled on for over an hour, so we just wanted to catch everybody up. I know it's going to be late. Season will be pretty much near the very end by the time this one comes out, but we're going to have some adventures to tell you about on down the road. We're going to try to record some while we're on the road. Matter of fact, I was supposed to record this on our traveling machine, but I didn't. So we'll see how that works out. I ain't going to make no promise. We're going to record. I just don't know how it'll turn out. There may be some crappy audio. Y'all just have to bear with it. I've heard some terrible audio podcasts. I've heard some beautiful audio podcasts. And I think we fall in that upper end for the most part because we're in studio almost every time. So, y'all just hang with us. Buy a T-shirt. Still got plenty of those. I'll tell you what, you buy two, we'll make you a deal on the second one. You buy two of them, might ship them free. I don't know. So two or more, I think that would be the deal. You buy two or more, we'll ship them free. $25 a piece, cool shirts. Let everybody know you're Meat and Two fan, part of the nation.
Get your swag.
Get your swag. And we'll have more and more, but if y'all don't buy these shirts, we ain't.
Yeah.
Come show us some love, man. So anyway, you got anything else?
No.
All right. Everybody be safe out there. Hope y'all are having a great 2026 turkey season so far. And until next week, take care of your trees because that's where the turkeys sleep.